So welcome back to my channel. This is Dom, and another campaign book for Bolt Action has arrived, and I got myself a copy and I thought I'd show you a quick flick through of what it looks like. Those of you who don't know, is this the third? In fact, I've just said that now, I'm not sure myself. I think it's about the third of these campaign books for D-Day that Warlords have produced. This one is focused on the US sector at D-Day. Again, a very high quality book, as you'd expect with these things. There, even if you don't play an awful lot of Bolt Action, these are really good books. Really good books, and not massively expensive. So link in description if you want to buy it. It's a nice book. All I'm going to say, I'm sort of in the back of my head at some point planning to do an American Army, so this may well be useful. It's over 106, 107 pages long. Usual format. A lot of history of this period, the period it covers, which, as I say, is just the D-Day sector, and it's basically the sort of landings and breakthrough from the D-Day sector that the Americans were involved in. You've got a number of scenarios here. I won't go into a huge amount of detail here, but you've got stories about on the beach, you've got breakout stories, you've got fighting in the hedgerows, you've got interesting some scenarios involving SAS and also French partisan troops. And then we've got a number of new things, which is what everyone gets very excited about with these books. Even though they're not designed to be used in isolation, they are designed to be in isolation. They're not designed to be used against other armies. People still love them. So we've got the French partisan units. I know Warlords and also Wargames Atlantic brought out partisan troops. So here's the list. This is the book that has the list for them. You've got various new headquarter, gun commander and trained gunner options for every nation in here. You've got a US armoured infantry mechanized troops, various special commanders, some extra German stuff, and then a number of new theatre selectors, which include French partisans. In terms of other things, you've got the US Rangers, you've got SAS, which again I know will excite a lot of people, and Fallschirmjäger and SAS. A few special rules, which we'll get to in a minute. But that's basically what the book covers off, and it's, I said before, it's a very high quality book. Warlords produce these things really well, and they're good, nice illustrations, well printed. Good book all round. So before, you've got a number of scenarios. I won't go into a huge amount of detail here, but you can see some, again, lots of imagery, lots of examples, good scenarios, and some of these will be great fun. There's a bit of German counterattack here, maintaining the lines of logistics. So this is where some of the SAS and oh no, this one's breakout stories. Sorry, breakout scenarios. Look at the imagery, absolutely awesome. Bocage country. So this is breakout. Battle of the hedgerows. Awesome stuff. Various other ones around this. This is German isolated commands fighting for survival. German counterattacks are covered in this bit. Love that picture. Just awesome. And then we've got some other scenarios here. This is behind the lines. So this is SAS. So SAS scenarios, if you're really into your SAS, the rules are in here for SAS units. I think they were in the Desert book as well, weren't they? But this is more for the Western Front. Got an attack on a convoy, hit and run attacks. Is this one also? This is SAS as well. Then this is using partisans, French partisans, liberation scenario. So some really good stuff going. And then let's carry on down. This is more, what's this one? This is a straightforward SAS, straightforward US assault game. So moving on to some of the special units. These have been introduced for all nations. It says all nations get access to chaplains who help to basically remove pins from troops. You've got intelligence officers. Now these are really interesting. So they can basically help. So basically, it helps you get priorities. So depending on how experienced an intelligent officer, he can actually get you to get the first dice from the bag, which is pretty good. For 30 points for a regular is quite nice. You've got support officers and gun commanders, trained gunners, which I think were in one of the other books. So basically, these support officers act as officers for gun crews and fixed weapons in the same way that infantry officers operate, and trained gunners allow you to reman crews, basically, so that if you start losing gunners from your crews, you can reman them, which is nice. They've also got a forward observer limited support option. So this is, instead of the sort of mass offboarding one that you get, this is a cheaper version that allows a sort of slightly less powerful effect, which I think is also quite good. And that's to symbolise divisional level artillery and mortar support, heavy mortar support. French partisan units, you've got headquarters, you've got infantry squads, which have marksmen in them, which is interesting in itself, and they can have Molotov cocktails. In fact, they all come with Molotov. Oh no, if you take Molotov cocktails, okay. You've got specialist Molotov cocktail anti-tank squads, police units, all inexperienced. That seems to be all they have in terms of base units. Lots of inexperienced troops, very cheap, but they add flavour to the game, and if you bought some of those partisan units, they'll be useful for you. American armoured infantry and mechanised units, and basically what they allow you to do is leave, well, one of the rules they have, the mechanised fighters, they allow you to leave some of your squad inside the armoured cars or the half tracks that they're in, the M3s, and operate the guns still. So normally when you debus, they can't be used, but once but these have a rule that allow you to leave up to 3 squad members behind to man the transport vehicles' weapons for the rest of the game, which is actually quite useful. So you can basically build a big squad and have a fire support instantly. There's heavy weapon detachments. You've got armoured mortar infantry squads. You've got armoured infantry machine gun squads, which are basically armed with light machine guns. Artillery. You've got special character, Second Lieutenant John Butts, who has inspired courage, and basically he has 2 lives as well. So if he receives damage that would kill him, you can ignore that result for the first time. You've got, this is Staff Sergeant Walter Ehlers. I probably mispronounced that. He counts as tough fighters when in close combat with any weapons teams. And he has the ability to act like a veteran on retreat, which is a nice little one. An interesting other option for the Germans is double agent. So basically, the way this one works is at the beginning of a game, you can choose an enemy officer unit and attach that double unit to him, and therefore he can uncover positions, and also he can actually sort of undermine the authority of the officer involved, which is kind of fun. So you can have you can go to town with a sort of Gestapo-y type sinister double agent type figure like that. Brilliant. I'm sure we'll see that from Warlords very soon. We've got Kriegsmarine troops, which are very interesting as well. Because they're not designed to be an infantry unit, they don't get the benefits of the Blitzkrieg rule, but they are better at directing off-board naval guns or off-board artillery because they're used to dealing with naval guns, which is interesting. They've also allowing you to do with the Germans to do because the German light machine gun and the medium machine gun were ostensibly the same weapon, just with different tripods. They allow you to convert your medium machine gun option into a 3-man light machine gun option. Now, that's kind of useful because the effect of a sniper is completely reduced. It's also cheap dice, and in some ways it's probably almost as effective. You lose 1 dice out of the effect, but actually still pretty good. So that's an interesting option. So same points, 50 points for a regular, but you get a 3-man light machine gun group, which can also be used in anti-aircraft role. So yeah, interesting option. I quite like that one because I think medium machine guns are not really very good. You've got some internal security battalions for dealing with the partisans in Paris. This is an alert battalion, Paris Alert Security Squad. You've got Panzer I Alpha C, which was a upgrade to the early Panzer I, which was used a lot in internal security and also on recce, which is an interesting option. You've got horse wagons, which I think were in one of the other books. These are some of the US Army selectors. Lots of them here. Lots and lots and lots, which is nice. Gives you plenty of variety if you want to do late war. US Army Anti-Tank Company. There it is. You've got US Army Reconnaissance Troops. US Army Cavalry Reconnaissance Troops, sorry. I quite like the idea of that. That looks quite fun. Based on Greyhounds or Stuarts. Late war mechanized tank destroyer battalions. There's the partisan units. You can have SAS support with you, so that's quite useful. So you can have a bunch of irregular French partisans in huge numbers because they're so cheap, and then get support with some SAS troops mounted on jeeps or captured Kuba wagons, that sort of thing, which actually could bolster them up considerably. There's an army list for Paris Uprising. This one allows you to use captured, actually originally French tanks that have been captured and used by the Germans for internal security, were then recaptured back by the French resistance. So you could use H-39s, R-35s, S-35s, and even the Flame Panzer B2F or the FT-17 as French within this army, which is kind of fun. I'm not sure how authentic that is, but never let history get in the way of a good game, eh? German special things, you've got Late War Anti-Tank Company. You've got late war Panzer Grenadier Heavy Company, which has observers, mobile observers, and hedgerow ambush specialism. You've got the 116th Panther Division Der Windhalt Grenadier Company, which again looks really good, built around SAS, well, just actually you can have a mixture. You can have here Grenadiers, Veteran Grenadiers, and SAS in that if you wish to, and all your Panzers are elite, which is very interesting. They also have this hedgerow ambush option, so this allows any infantry squad or headquarter unit may upgrade for 3 points per man, and any medium machine gun, Panzerschreck, anti-tank gun may be upgraded for 10 points. Inexperienced may not receive the hedgerow ambush benefit. No units with flamethrowers may be given it. Pioneers weren't used for ambushing. Units with this rule may deploy in the same manner as observers and snipers, so basically you get put out at the very beginning. However, they must be deployed in cover. In addition, the unit starts any game hidden and may elect to start in ambush. That's really good. You can imagine what mayhem a medium machine gun unit sitting there for 10.8s, ambushed and hidden in the middle of the table somewhere. Wow, great fun. You've got Defenders of Cherbourg. And I can't even... Schlingen's Division. Don't know what that one is. Anyway, lots of options. And here we go. We got US Rangers. Everyone loves a Ranger, don't they? Theatre selectors for them. Oh no, these are actual troops. Sorry, these are Ranger new units. Wow. So you can have Specialist Ranger Force if you wish. Ranger Medic, Ranger Intelligence Officer, Chaplain. Then the Infantry squads there. Mid-War Assault Squad. A Mid-War Mortar Squad. They're all veteran. All veteran as you'd expect. Late War Ranger Assault Squad, Late War Special Teams Group, Intelligence and Operations Section, Rangers Anti-Tank Rifle Team, Bazooka Team. Wow. I can see a lot of Ranger units coming out because that is exciting. You've got a special character, Lieutenant Colonel William Barbie. He is an artillery specialist, which basically counts as an observer for the... he costs 250 points, mind, but he comes with a man and himself and 3 men. But he is considered to be an artillery commander in his own right. We've got Captain Basil, who is commando trained, counts as tough fighter, and has an inspiring presence, so he can remove pins. Then you've got some special army lists, theatre selectors for them to fit in with. Late War Ranger Company here. And then some more special units. These are airborne troops and glider weapons officers. Airborne intelligence officer medics. There's the paratrooper squads for the US. Glider squad. Pathfinder group. That's interesting. So they're stubborn and they have landing zone signals. So if you deploy at least one unit of Pathfinders on the table before the game starts, then any friendly paratroopers or glider troops in reserve may re-roll failed tests to come onto the table. That's very useful. Airborne engineer unit, machine gun, mortar, and there's selector lists for them. Major Charles Johnston is a special character for the airborne. He's stubborn. He has a special rule that when he received his order dice, he can remove 1 pin from a single unit within his command radius. And he also has hold the line order, which allows any unit within his command radius that fails a roll for low ammunition can immediately make a re-roll. So there's your glider troops. And here we go. The people will be excited for the SAS on the Western Front. Here's the SAS. SAS do not benefit from any of the British Army special rules. Instead, all units have the following rules. Oh my goodness. They're fanatic, tough, and have behind enemy lines. Wow. Wow. So they are they're very expensive, as you would expect. So an infantry section of basically an NCO and 3 men is 72 points and comes veteran. But they're pretty kick-ass. They're pretty kick-ass. So you've got HQ, you've got medic, you've got the infantry sections, the lead sections. So these are I guess these are like the Pathfinders. Yeah, so they are deployed in the same manner as snipers and spotters, and they count as hidden regardless of what the scenario says, but they do suffer low ammunition due to limited supplies. Right, SAS weapons team, and then you've got armor selectors, you've got jeeps, armored jeeps, transport jeeps, and there's the army list for them. And they also have, oh no, this is an odd place for it. This is an American special character as a chaplain, the Right Reverend Fraser McCluster, who was the padre in the parachute regiment. Gives you various things. Then for the Germans, there's lots of Fallschirmjäger squad options. You've got a Fallschirmjäger Scout. So again, they can be deployed early on the table, as in like snipers and observers. They're veteran and they are stubborn. You've got support officers here. You've got Fallschirmjäger Pioneer squads. If they aren't hard enough, you get Pioneers with them as well. Support groups, anti-tank gun, which is 42mm Pak 41. Was basically given a special ammunition, which improved its performance, but reduced its range. So you've got some theatre selectors for the Fallschirmjäger here. Lots of options again. It's a special character for them, which is Field Weebler Max Krassenkurt, who basically has stubborn, carries on the fight. The first time he would be removed as a casualty, your opponent must re-roll a successful damage result. And he can re-roll failed rolls when using his Panzerfaust. Wow. Nice. And then you've got some more SS, which have blind obedience for their officers. They can't benefit from the Blitzkrieg Army special rule. I think that's basically where you can replace officers, isn't it? I think, from what I remember. You've got Waffen SS Pioneers, Ulfglun's squads. They are basically reconnaissance units, which can be used. Yeah, basically they're reconnaissance units which allow you to put them in vehicles if you wish, swim wagons if you want. There's a Schwimmwagen option for transport and tows, and there's the theatre selector for the Germans. So moving on, special rules sections, you've got rules about bocage, fortifications, which include artillery positions, bunkers, barbed wire, minefields. More on minefields, lots on minefields. Digging in, which I think is largely in other books as well. Rubble, which I think was in the Stalingrad book, so it doesn't look like that's changed substantially. And then some special rules about command and control in a city fight, which is good. Senior NCOs and demolition charges here as well. Look at that picture. So there you go. That's the book. Really good value. Some interesting options there. If you fancy doing Normandy campaign, I think this is a must for anybody who's into bolt action, just because it's just gives you some more scenarios, some more troop types, some more variety to play, and I'm kind of really looking forward to having a go with this. So anyway, there you go. I hope you enjoyed this flick through. If you did, please give it a like. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so. At some point I'll get around to doing some more bolt action. Haven't done it for a while, and I do really enjoy it, but we seem to get so many game systems on the go at once. Maybe I'll try and do some solo games at some point soon, because that way I can get some games in against a sensible opponent. Anyway, stay safe, stay well, and I'll see you again soon. This is Dom, signing out.